todos los tres chingones boxing. Shouts to all the chingones y chingonas. I know I'm kind of dropping this one kind of fast, man. Just like that with a snap of a finger. And I don't have much time to do this, but I did want to talk about this, or I do want to talk about this. And I'm just not so sure if we're gonna have time to do it with the boys on Friday. I mean, I don't even really care much about Conor Benn, honestly, man. But I want to go ahead and touch on this. And there's so many other things to touch on when it comes to boxing outside of this. So I don't know how deep we'll actually get into it, if we even get into it on the Friday shows. So I want to go ahead and touch on this. And that is that, well, basically, Conor Benn, who I am a fan of, you guys know that. That's no secret. I am a fan of Conor Benn. He actually signed with Zuffa. So it's not that big of a deal here on this side of the world. But apparently, from what I understand, across the pond, this sucker is huge, man. And there is like ripples in the water all over the place when it comes to this, right? A lot of people just disgusted with Conor Benn. Now, Conor had already been somewhat of a villain. The first Eubank fight. The time they fought, I saw that people were actually rooting for this guy. So it got me to thinking like, okay, did they turn the page on this? You know, did they actually come to like Conor Benn at some point, simply because maybe at one point they didn't like the guy because he tested positive? And dealing with the BBBOC, I mean, good gosh, man, you know, they take that stuff super serious as opposed to what they do over here. But he signs over with Zuffa. Now, there's all kinds of talks about what's going on over there with Zuffa, with his deal with Zuffa. When I first heard it, I was thinking like, okay, that's it. He's a Zuffa fighter. But come to find out, some of the details as time goes on, some of the details are actually, you know, if anybody hates Zuffa, it's actually not that bad. He only signed a 1-fight deal with Zuffa. Now, I think this 1-fight deal is going to continue. I think the 1-fight deal was actually kind of like a bonus, if you will, to get him away from Eddie, to get him away from Matchroom, and then say, okay, look, yes, it's a 1-fight deal. You'll be a free agent afterwards. But I believe they're going to make him another offer. And the whole 15 mil, right? Because now it's out there that he's going to be fighting Regis Prograis. Okay. Is that fight $15 million worth? Absolutely not. Look, I actually don't mind that fight. To tell you the truth, I actually like that fight. I think that's going to be a damn good fight. Is it worth 15 mil? No, it's not. It's nowhere near 15 mil. All right. Regis Prograis is not that guy. Okay. Not even close to it. The biggest star maybe he could have fought was probably Ryan Garcia. And even at that, I would argue, I still don't think that's worth 15 mil to Conor Benn. So I'm thinking all this is in negotiations as kind of like we're going to front you 15 mil, which 4 million was fronted to him right off the bat, right? But I think there's a little bit more that goes to it. As they say, it's a 1-fight deal. I do think Conor will be and stay with Zuffa Boxing for a while. I do believe that. So what makes him a huge bad guy when it comes to this is the fact that people are thinking that he turned his back on Eddie Hearn, especially the way Eddie Hearn came out. Eddie Hearn came out and he was pretty heartbroken, man. Now, Eddie Hearn, he has really defended Conor Benn. When the whole, whatever he tested positive for, everybody just says PEDs. I don't even remember we got tested positive for, just a banned substance. How about that? Because it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a PED, right? Whatever he got busted for, Eddie Hearn really was fighting for him. Eddie Hearn became his lawyer. He was really pushing for Conor Benn. And now, at least what Eddie Hearn said, Eddie made it seem like Conor Benn didn't contact him. Just completely just say, man, oh, well, I'm gone. You'll find out through the media. Like, there was no sit down. There was no conversation. There was no phone call. Look, did he owe that to Eddie Hearn? Okay. Morally, man to man, yes, he did. Legally, no, he doesn't owe him anything. He doesn't owe him a damn thing. He's a free agent. He's a free agent. He could just go sign somewhere else and oh well. And just say that's business, right? But morally, the right thing to do so you won't burn any bridges is go and talk to Eddie Hearn and say, like, hey, check this out, man. This is what they're offering me. Now, that was according to Eddie Hearn. Now, all things coming around, there's so much information out there. Now it's being said that, no, look, Eddie Hearn did know this. And he was given the opportunity to match that deal, which, again, nobody's going to match that. Nobody is going to come close to giving Conor Benn $15 million for one fight, which at that time, nobody even knew who the opponent was. Now that we find out there's going to be Regis Prograis, I mean, good gosh, $15 million for that? Who the hell is paying $15 million for that? And that's just to one fighter. All right, but that being said, apparently Eddie did know, and he was made aware, and he was given the chance to match it. He said no, and next thing you know, Conor Benn signs with Zuffa for one fight. But like I said, I believe all this is in the works. I believe it's all in the works. As it stands right now, hey, it's just one fight. Let's see how it goes. I do believe he stays with Zuffa. And let me play this audio right here. Let me see. Let me play this audio of Dana White talking about it. Here we go.
Conor Benn, an amazing signing for Zuffa Boxing. How long was that deal in the works? And did you know about it when you were saying beating up babies?
Did I know about it when what?
Did you know about it when you were saying you were beating up babies?
All right. I'm sure everybody knows Dana White. He was asked, hey, how much pushback are you getting with the Zuffa thing? And he said, he's getting no pushback. It's like beating up babies. So that's what the reporters are alluding to here.
Well, I think you saw this week, I am really beating up babies. Is there a bigger than Eddie Hearn?
Mm.
He was quite upset that Conor Benn left it.
Is there a bigger than Eddie Hearn? This guy's supposed to be your friend. Crying, he made more money. He's going to make more money, and he had the right to match it. He could have matched it.
Okay, see, this is where it gets a little bit chalky, because the way Eddie Hearn made it seem is that he knew nothing about this. Listening to Dana White is saying, like, no, he knew about it and he had a chance to match it, which, again, nobody in their right mind is going to match that deal for one fight, especially now that we know it's a Regis Prograis fight.
I think he said he tried and Conor Benn wouldn't return his calls.
What a crock of yeah.
Eddie Hearn did say that he reached out to Conor Benn and he said, hey, doesn't this at least deserve for you? Do I deserve for you? Give me a call. And that Conor Benn said, Chales.
We're literally beating up babies.
Look, I like Eddie Hearn. I like Matchroom. The fact that him and Dana are really going at it. I mean, even Golden Boy has kind of taken a little bit of a step back. He hasn't really gotten into it with Dana White too much lately. It's mainly been Eddie and Dana White. But no, like I said, whether he was given a chance to match it or not, it really didn't matter because Eddie Hearn was not going to match $15 million for one fight. Okay. Now that it came out that it's going to be Regis Prograis, which again, Regis Prograis is a journeyman. It makes for a good fight. I do like the fight. I said that earlier. I'll say it again. I do like the fight. I think it's going to be a pretty good action-packed fight. But it's not worth paying either one of those guys 15 mil. The fight itself is not worth 15 mil. Even if you split this money for both fighters in $15 million, whichever way you want to split it, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 50-50, it's not worth 15 mil. So I'm not really sure who to believe here. If Eddie Hearn was given the chance to match it, which Eddie Hearn made it seem like he wasn't given that chance, who knows? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But if he was given the chance to match 15 mil, he wasn't going to do it. Nobody in their right mind was going to match that deal. This is why Zuffa is able to do this. Because they got the backing of TKO, of Khan and the WWE and these billions and billions of dollars. And like I said earlier, it's a one-fight deal. Yes, it's a one-fight deal. But all this, in my opinion, is strategic. I don't think Conor Benn leaves Zuffa after this fight. I think he stays with Zuffa. I think this was all in the plans. This was all in negotiations. This was all, now $4 million out of that 15 is right up front. I think this was all in negotiations. Because Conor Benn cannot just be getting paid $15 million for every single fight. What's up, Dimitro? For Prograis is a thief by Conor. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody was going to match that. Apparently, Eddie made it seem like Conor just took off without talking to him. Dana White is saying something else that no, he had a chance to match it. Either way, the respect level, morally, I understand that part. Hey, you're Conor Benn. Go talk to Eddie Hearn. Hey, Eddie, look, you've done a lot for me, man. When I tested positive, you know what? You stuck your neck out for me. This business, brother, I'm getting offered this much money. Can you match this? I don't know if that conversation happened or not. If I were Eddie Hearn and my fighter came up to me and said that, I would tell my fighter, I would say, go get that money and then come back. And we'll keep rocking and rolling with your career, man. So again, did Conor Benn owe Eddie Hearn anything, an explanation or anything, business-wise? No, he didn't. I don't think it's good for business because now it seems like you burned that bridge. It would have been smart to, morally, as a man, as somebody who stuck by your side, as somebody who defended you. Morally, yeah, you did. Conor getting 15, Regis getting 500. Yeah, man. I mean, look, that's a big payday for Regis Prograis. If you're being real with it, I mean, who the heck is Regis Prograis, and why does that dude get so much money? 500,000, $500,000. That's kind of a, I don't know how much money he made in his last fights, but Regis Prograis isn't that big of a star either. Conor Benn's a much, much, much bigger star across the pond than Regis Prograis ever was here. What's up, party familia? But that's about it, man. I know this was a short live. I know I just kind of dropped it on here without letting anybody know. It's just probably not going to have a chance to talk about it, especially in detail with the boys on Friday. There's so much more going on in sport of boxing. And me being a Conor Benn fan, I want to dive into it in detail. So I think this is all strategic. Again, Zuffa, I believe, does now have Conor Benn. I don't think Conor Benn just leaves after one fight. Even though that may be the contract, I think this was all planned out. And whether they have fights across the pond or not, because when Zuffa first came out, they were just like, hey, we're just going to, focus on North America, the Western Hemisphere. Now, it'd be cool to have Conor Benn fight on this side of the world, but again, does he really sell that much? He's got to have the right dance partner. For damn sure that dance partner is not Regis Prograis, because Prograis doesn't sell at all. He's a straight journeyman. But I do like the fight. I'll be real with you guys. I do like the fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good action fight. It's nowhere near worth that type of money, though. But you guys let me know what you guys think, man. We'll be on Friday doing it up with the boys. I'll catch you guys on Friday.